kill it. What's up, everyone? This is K.Short, and welcome to this week's Phoenix Rising. What's up, y'all? It's K.Short. Welcome to Phoenix Rising. And today we got Truvonne on the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, K.Short.
Yeah, we're finally getting the video interview in. We had the chance to talk back on the Uncommon Collective, but I knew that we need to put video out there because one day, when she makes it all big, who's going to look at the first interview? And so that's why we're here. So we're going to do all the backup story like we talked about before, but there's some changes that has happened since we've talked, so we got to get an update on all of that, along with her releasing her newest single called All Right, and now the video is up next, and maybe we get to get a sneak peek of what's it going to look like.
Yes.
At least we could talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
All right, Truvonne, I got to go all the way back.
Okay.
First and foremost, how did you find your way to Arizona?
Man, well, I went to school actually in Long Beach. Grew up in Long Beach, California. My mom moved out here in high school, and then I went to college in Connecticut, and then I just ended up back here because my mom was like, "You've been away from home too long," you know what I'm saying? So I just ended up back here. Ended up staying here. I wasn't expecting to stay.
Yeah.
You know, my internship ended. You know, that's what I got, and then. You know, I just ended up here.
Yeah. What high school was it again?
High school, Desert Ridge High School.
Oh, yeah.
Desert Ridge alum, yeah.
And went to Connecticut to play ball.
To play ball. I
And
was a
then-
hooper.
I know, and we talked about that, what it looked like choosing ball or choosing music, and what was that journey like, and why did you decide to choose music?
Yeah, in high school, I had a terrible injury. It completely shattered my ankle, like shattered it completely. I wasn't even supposed to play, so I just picked up this guitar, and I started playing. I was terrible, but regardless, I needed something else
Yeah.
because colleges were just dropping me left and right.
Oh, damn.
And then this one faithful school, Sacred Heart University, decided to take a chance on the young buck. And then I just started playing ball, but I kept up guitar, kept up writing songs, and then really just went from there to starting to produce because no one took me seriously as an artist. And then it kind of just developed from there. And then I was like, yo, I really dig this. I should do this as a living.
And out of curiosity, what age was that at?
17 was when I picked up guitar. So it was technically, like, when you really think about it, that's really late to start music. Like, when you really think about it. Like, I was an athlete my whole life. And then I just picked this up. And then pretty much 18 through 22, just developing.
Yeah, 18 to 22, just developing it through. And were you, when you were not doing practice, you were just trying to practice the guitar?
Yeah, I was doing like little itty bitty shows. I know my first show, I freaked out. Like I just blacked out on all the lyrics. Like I was like, hi, like, my name is, Gab. It was so bad, but I started getting better, getting more comfortable, just started writing a lot more. Pretty much practicing. Yeah, practically, yeah.
So speaking of names, I know that, of course, we all have our legal names, y'all, but,
Government, right?
We got those government names, but we don't talk about those while we're in these spaces and places, but I knew that you had a name that I was struggling with, and so I'm curious, you could go ahead and tell them what the first name was, because I was obviously struggling, so I'm not even going to say it now, and then why did you decide to change it?
So
you're pulling a P. Diddy on us.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to go way back.
Okay, go for it.
I'm going to go way back. So, I was beatnik femme at first.
You got to tell us our MySpace. Tell us your MySpace name.
Oh, my God.
Just kidding. Because you say you go way back. I was like, okay, then what's your AOL?
Oh, what's my AOL? It was something. It was like Semper Fi.
What is
Don't
it?
ask.
What was it?
Semper Fi.
Semper Fi.
Always faithful. Marine Corps proverb.
Okay.
And no, it was beatnik femme at first. Like anyone that's like known me for beatnik femme at first. I don't know what I was thinking. And then aesthetically sound.
That's like I still can't spell that.
That's the one. Or, like the music started to flow,
Yeah.
but aesthetically sound, man, it was so complex. It's probably gonna come back in maybe like clothing or something.
Yeah.
But as far as the name, I was just like, I don't know why I didn't just start with my middle name in the first place.
Yeah. Well,
You know what
I mean, we got to go through that journey.
Because now I'm at my middle name, so
Which is Vaughn.
yes.
Okay, cool.
Right, and then Truvonne just ended up pretty much
Yeah.
being all my tags, and they're like, "Is it Truvonne?" I said, "Yeah, it is." So that's how that happened.
But you decided to put spaces in it. You know, because I
Yeah.
was like going on Spotify, and you were like, put the spaces in there, or it's not gonna come up. So why did you decide to put the
So
spaces
that's
in
a
there?
whole other. So pretty much, with distribution, I didn't go through TuneCore or anything like that. I actually did have a distribution slot. That's how they put it in, and because I was struggling to find it too. I was like, But eventually, I just found out it was T space R. So I was
Oh
like, I have to
gosh.
make that potent. Yeah, because on everything else, it's like the Truvonne, but on that, and I think iHeartRadio, you have to put the spaces in between to find it.
Wait, we got to start from the beginning because you're talking about you just picked up the guitar. You said you were doing that from 17 to 22, and then
Right.
you decided to go with that name, and then you started putting out the music. But now you're talking about these processes that a lot of artists don't even get to. So I'm curious as to what made you want to keep moving forward. You know, like what
Yeah.
was it? Was there something that happened on stage, or that you started getting a lot of good feedback? And like, what was the process of you just accepting this journey and wanting to continue forth with it?
Yeah, honestly, I think when I started writing, the songs they were so different already, especially when guitar. Like when people usually do music, they do what they hear. You know, they do the basic chords and stuff. But I was doing these weird melody lines because I was just like, what if we did this? And it was everything I've always done is experimental. And I think that whether it was good or bad, it was something that they remembered because it was different. And I think that's the feedback I started getting. So then I started developing more, started producing more, started getting like this, specific sound that I was going after. And I wasn't like a drop a song every week type person. I'm very meditated, very like I think about everything that I do.
Yeah.
So the fact that it was kind of spaced out and everything's thought out, that's kind of how it just started going. Because funny enough, each name, like, I get a step closer to where I want to be. Funny enough, but I think this is the final name. But still,
Yeah, I was gonna say you think Truvonne.
No,
gonna
this is-
change
this is
again.
it.
This
This
is
is
it.
it.
This is it.
This
We're
is
just
the
gonna
name.
Go through
This
with
is
that.
it.
Cool.
Yes.
So when you think about Truvonne, I think of the song by Lloyd called "True" also. So and that's like one of me and my partner's favorite songs that we like to listen to. So that makes me ask a question like, what is true to you?
Yeah, what's true to me, honestly, I think even going back to aesthetically sound, the main reason for that name was understanding the emotional space that you're in, whether it's good, bad, indifferent, and then being present in it. Being completely surrounded by it and accepting it and understanding that it is a blessing to be able to feel
Yeah.
emotion.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where true comes from, is being able to be present in that moment, being able to understand why you're feeling that way, and being okay with it. So when I started doing that, it like started making sense. I was like, Truvonne, like that, it just went together. It just made sense for me. Yeah.
So talking about the journey so far, you said in your first performance you were like freaking out. Did you walk off stage? Did you like I just forgot the words? Did you keep pushing through? And with that, can you like highlight some points to us about the struggle? Because look, we can sit here and talk about promo, we could talk about
Right.
all the stuff in which we are going to get to, but I think there's a
Right.
lot of part of an artist's journey that a lot of people don't get to hear about, and that for me is really important to highlight on Phoenix Rising. So the next time someone sees you, they don't see that it happened overnight and that there was a lot of failures that happened along the way. So yes, now we're going to talk about failures of
so many.
Truvonne and what that looks like and why
many.
you decided to keep pushing through with that.
Oh man, I failed so badly. Like thing is I'm awkward already. So like, but I'm awkward in the point where like I'll at least make you laugh. Like
Yeah.
someone has to giggle. So
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot the words. I'm gonna
Yeah.
start over. And then I just started playing. I closed my eyes, took a shot, and said, let's do this. So, and then it started getting more comfortable. I started getting more comfortable in front of crowds because I was a huge loner. Like, I was by myself a lot. Like, I didn't like people, but I was an athlete at the same time, and I was good. So I had to talk to people.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
that's kind of where it developed. But I failed so many times. Like, it took hours and hours and hours of being in a room by myself, hours, no job, nothing, just saying, why doesn't this sound right? Hours. Like, people don't understand. It took hours by myself.
Yeah.
Like, weeks on end. So it's like when people ask, like, well, you've only been doing it for really, like, producing a couple years.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it took a lot of time.
Yeah.
It took a lot of time, a lot of by yourself time. You know what I'm saying?
What have you learned about yourself so far?
Oh, man. I've learned that I'm not patient. And I refuse to wait, and it's like a downfall, but it's also a good thing because at least you know that no matter what, you can't sit still. So you're gonna constantly try to press for the next step and stuff like that. One thing that I've really thought about is success is something that people celebrate in public, but you've done for years in private, and so that's something that I've really come to terms with. I've just constantly just make beats all day. You know?
Yeah. Are you ever worried about your vision getting all blurry or your ears? I think about being in the industry and I think about like, our senses being damaged throughout this journey, you know? Like I go to clubs now with like earplugs in because I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want to be deaf by the time I'm 62, you know, or whatever that looks like. And same with technology. We're like looking at a screen half the time, you know, focusing on a journey because that's the way that it is. Do you ever find yourself concerned about what that's going to look like in the future for you?
Absolutely. That's one of my biggest issues is like my music is literally different, flat out. There is a lane that I am in that I'm trying to get everyone else to be in with me, but because it is difficult and, you know, I'm not conforming really to popular sounds, it is a much, you know, more difficult line to get over. And I think that's something like I've never compromised on ever is exactly what I see. Like I've turned down so many things because I remember honestly when I was 18, a YMCMB rep, that I think they were trying to make me into like a Nicki type thing.
Yeah.
And that didn't go.
Yeah.
That didn't go at all. So, you know, I've just never compromised on it.
So I know that's something we talked about before because we were talking about boy society and stuff like that and what it means to like move through this industry as people that look like us. I'm curious of like how you move forward, you know, with those identities, you know, what you're facing, you know, on day in and day out, and how does that reflect in your music?
Yeah, I think just the fact that at the end of the day, your orientation that you are, the sex that you are, the androgynous view of what you look like, all that stuff starts to play into a role of your brand. And knowing that, it just keeps getting more and more niche. And that's something that I'd really want to break is how niche that can become. And so, you know, I just make sure that everything in my music is gender neutral. I never say her, she, he, no pronouns. Like I just try to make it as, you know, as universal as it possibly can. Because at the end of the day, you know, feelings are feelings. So, you know, I just try to broaden it as much as I can, you know, make people comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So from who you were with Aesthetically Sound and In My Feelings, who was that person and who are you moving into now with Truvonne?
Man, I was the most depressed person on this planet because I was supposed to, honestly, after college, like I got hurt, my ankle dislocated, popped out the socket. Like my injuries were at the point where like walking was tentative.
Ouch.
So I couldn't go pro. Like I was supposed to be in like Spain or Italy. I was supposed to actually be going pro. So after college, you know, my girlfriend broke up with me. It was just like everything that could possibly happen happened at once. You know, I did get a DUI. It was like all at once. Yeah. So I was like, you know, how did I go from graduating college, being like the best in my region, basketball, about to go pro, to just the bottom.
Yeah.
And then that's when I was that's really when the hours started. Like it was hours and hours and hours of just playing my music, like, and just going over that and just, you know, making it. Like I was just, like I said, like we talked about before, that whole album was under the influence. Like I was a mess. I was a mess. Yeah. So honestly, where I am now is I'm definitely out of that. That's you know, I'm definitely out of that whole depression stage. So I've started, my music's changing and not like a more positive direction, a more honest direction. Just like no matter what I'm feeling, and it's starting to just go into something a little bit more like, I don't know, catchy, still emotional, still different, it's still true.
So let's talk about All Right. What was the process of making that? I was reading it and then it said like Salt and Pepper and Mac Miller. I was like, wait, I'm confused. How did she get them on there really quick? But that's not what happened. It was just like, you know, the suggested, I guess. I was like, well, that's cool.
Still.
I was just like,
we had the same reaction.
I was about to say, I was like, what? I was like, no, she didn't. But also, I didn't doubt it either. I was like, you know what? I don't doubt if she was able to pull that somehow. But let's talk about All Right really quick and what the song is about and how did you bring it together?
All Right is breaking down the basic norms and constructions of society. It's pretty much asking permission. Am I allowed to do things that are not, you know, okay to society or not, you know, something that's highly, you know, publicized, highly, you know, celebrated. That's pretty much what it's about. Like, I'm not a role model in any way, and I wanted to make that present. Like, I just wanted to make that present, put it all out there. It's probably the most honest song that I've ever written. It was happening, like, that song was written easily, like, maybe 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Like, it was in and out.
Dang.
Yeah. So, That's why when this video comes out,
I know
you will see it.
you will understand
You
what
will
she's
see
talking
what
about.
I mean.
Yeah. What was the process of getting it on Spotify though? People are like really going for it, but now I'm like, for me as a consumer, I'm kind of concerned in a way of like everybody on everywhere. And again, it's another saturated place where I'm like, I don't know where to put my attention to, but it's still a dope process.
Right.
I'm sure a long process of how did that move forward?
Yeah, transitioning from SoundCloud.
Oh, so it's a transition.
It's a transition. It's a transition because literally, I tried to put All Right on SoundCloud, and it took it off immediately because of copyright infringement. And I was like, this is my song.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy process. Like, honestly, I started speaking to this guy, Rampage, who's awesome. And he pretty much is just mentoring me in a way that it's just putting me through the system. We have distribution. I can't really say who it's through yet, but we have distribution. So, the steps and how it's going to start moving at this point, hopefully we'll start to go where the projections are. But that's pretty much how that process worked. I really just gave it to him. He pushed everything, pushed all the buttons, and now it's on Microsoft, Napster, Deezer, iHeartRadio,
Nice.
Tidal.
It's just like that.
It's
just like so.
everywhere.
Wow.
And so it's everywhere.
What has been the feedback from everybody?
Man, I know
3,000 a month, right? That's
I
what
was
read.
in shock. 3,000 put me in a coma. Like, I was like, because at one point I was on Spotify before, and it was like 50 monthly listeners. I was like, oh. But All Right has really taken, like, when I got that one spin, and I was thrilled. One spin on 98.3. I was the happiest person, mainly because, like, I literally saw Mad Rich, like, at an event.
Yeah.
And I said, yo, you should play this song.
Yeah.
And he really played it.
And that's it. It's that simple.
That was like, I was in shock. So
Yeah.
it's really just started to go. And it's been out, May 25th was the release date, but it really hit everything in June.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's starting to go, and it's technically kind of early. I'm a brand new artist, really.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how many hours and work you put in back then, at the end of the day, you're technically a brand new artist. So
shout out to Power 98.3, Ground Zero, DJ Mad Rich, Tino Caccino. No, it's actually Oh Jesus.
Yes,
Oh Jesus is on there.
Jesus, yeah.
So shout out to them and what they're doing over there, making sure to put locals on the spot and doing that one spin that's able
one spin that
to
made my
change
life.
their whole life.
Made my life.
Talking about the video now.
Oh, yes.
I'm seeing some bits, seeing some familiar faces and lots of women in it. What can you give us about the video that I'm about to expect?
I am so excited for this video. First of all, I talked to a lot of different people about the idea and the concept, and at first it kind of seemed like it wasn't possible.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, maybe it's not possible. But Yellow Box Films, he made this happen. I am so excited about it. Practically, Black represents the death of social norms. And everyone's just trying to put things in my hands, put things in my mouth, put things in, all these places that I'm not even saying. Like, I'm like, that's not what I'm saying. And it's really just, like I said, the song's about conformity. So I'm super excited for this to be released. Hopefully, you will see a Vivo stamp.
Oh, dang.
On the bottom left or
dang.
right. Okay, so that's really, what we are waiting for.
Wow. What are a few? There's one thing that I've wanted to talk to you about, and something that I've appreciated, and I was telling the crew too. I was like, one thing that I appreciate about True is that she goes out and she's in the DMs and like she's like hitting people up, and like the fact that you just said Mad Rich, can you play this real quick? Whatever that looks like, can you tell, like, just kind of do a little preacher session and we're like, yo, this is what it takes, because a lot of artists, like, I'm gonna make it big on the internet, they just be staying behind the computer, which is fine, I guess, but like it really is some of that door-to-door, hand-to-hand combat type stuff. And so I just want you to give like a little rundown to the younger artists on what that process looks like.
You cannot sit. I spent so long, like, following a bunch of people, seeing like, just looking at my demographic. Who do I want to hit? Who are they fans of? Are they fans of SZA? All right, I'm going to follow all their fans. Are they fans of Black? I'm going to follow all their fans. Then I'm going to look. I'm like, oh, wow, look at this platform. Okay, I think I can get on there. DM a whole bunch of people. Just follow a bunch of people. Email a bunch of people. Like, it is such a process. Like, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, it is a lot of time that you are just contacting people that will reject you multiple times, still reject you, and then you're just going to keep bugging them until they say yes.
Yeah.
And they'll probably still reject you,
Yeah.
but you're still going to bug them. So I'm waiting.
I feel like that's like a humbling experience,
Yeah.
getting rejected over and over.
Over and over again. I've been rejected so often.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we're still pushing, but
And I feel like some people are just like, oh, they'll come to me. They'll come to me if I'm fly enough. They'll come to me.
Right.
But that's what I like about you. You're like, I don't care how fly I am. I'm still gonna go to people and recognizing like there's still people out there that that need to help me on my journey. And so speaking of that, who do you want to attribute? Do a quick shout out since this is the first time on video. But who do you want to attribute to your success? Obviously, you've been going at it. What seems like always alone, but I think a lot of times we forget that there's a lot of people that have our back throughout the journey.
A lot. So shout out to Rampage. Thank you. Shout out to Tony. You are the one. I love you so much. Shout out to Cole. Shout out to Tyler. Those are my girls. They're in the video. They're awesome. So, and then shout out to Ray and Ange. Yeah, because I don't want to get cussed out. I'm not trying to even get. So shout out to all of them. Shout out to my old basketball fam.
There we go.
So,
there we
yeah,
go.
that's
Has this been, for anybody, the most surprising to them? Where they're just like, I did not expect this from you.
Oh, yeah, like some people, now, the thing is you need to realize is like, is it an insult or not? Like, that's what you really, because a lot of people are like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Everyone does music. Everyone's a rapper. Everyone's this, everyone's that. And I think that's why I'm so meditated, because it is saturated.
Yeah.
It's really saturated. That's why you just have to be strategic with everything that you do. That's what I'm trying to do. People have been like, yo, when did this come about? I'm like, I don't know. It just happened overnight.
But did it really happen overnight?
It not even close.
So my last question is, if you could give advice to those little youngins over at Desert Ridge, you said?
Desert Ridge.
What would it be?
It would be persistent. Be persistent and work on your craft. Those are the only two things that really matter. Like, as long as you're persistent and you put in a ton of hours working on your craft. Because if you get the opportunity and you're not ready, like, then what? You know what I mean?
Preparing for the opportunity is super important. Yep.
That's it.
Yep. Who is Truvonne? What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What are your values?
Oh, that's heavy. That's heavy.
Oh, well, I mean, when you say Truvonne, you know what I mean?
That's true. Honestly, I am emotion-based. So feelings are everything to me in regards to being present in the moment. That's really what I stand for, is the fact that just be whatever you want to do, be whoever you want to be, do what you want to do, live your life, don't let anyone compromise it. And again, just be in the moment, be present in whatever emotion you are, whether it's bad or good.
Nice.
So.
And last but not least, where can they follow you on the internet space?
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Truvonne, with no E, and then an underscore at the end.
There we go.
It's like a black circle. That's what you see. And on Spotify, it's T space R space U space B space. Everything is spaced out. Yeah, and my single's on iTunes in the hip hop section.
With that said, are you single right now?
Oh, my life is a joke. Listen, you don't want this problem. Okay. But yes.
Gosh. Okay.
Yes, I am.
Well, there you all go. Truvonne, thank you so much for being on Phoenix Rising. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Too bad y'all don't get to watch the video just yet, but once this does release, make sure to go check out her single, All Right. Make sure to get ready for her second single coming out soon, which she told me that off camera that's going to be coming out. But other than that, make sure to go watch the music video on Vivo.
Yes.
Oh, it's going to happen. We're just going to say it right now. We're just going to put that out
once it happens.
now. Just go watch that video. Give it a like. Make sure to share it. Support your Arizona locals. And again, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you all next time.
All right, here it is. There it is.
Woo! Ooh, I'm excited. I'm all excited.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready. What you talking about?
Is she gonna watch it?
Oh, you gonna watch it? Yeah, come watch it.
Come watch the video, girl. All right, y'all. Here we go. I'm excited.
Get in the video. Sit right there. Okay, come on over here.
Oh. Oh,
no,
shit.
she needs to go in the middle. No, True's gonna be in the middle because she's showing
Someone's
the video.
recorded this. Oh, it is recording! Alright. Hang on.
I'm gonna link up the audio so we can get this right. Oh, I hate when my face gets
Yeah, I used to.
Oh.
This cat, man, was so angry. Like,
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with collab with Kehlani?
oh my gosh.
I know.
You know it's gonna happen too! That's gonna happen. Okay.
You see that playlist I posted recently?
Yep.
Yep.
Listen.
All support here.
SZA and Black. And Kehlani. Only things that my life will be fine. Real slap, real. The slap is as real as it gets. She slapped me back to black and white.
Oh,
I'm gonna get that trend.
no. Bold though, bold, bold.
Over sexualization.
Hopefully that was a brand new
That was
one.
real too. That was real as fuck too. I was like, just do it! Just do it! Hey, yo, that multiple times. Look at Tyler. With her hair flip.
With her hair flip. Yo, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it was like super simple too, not
Super
overcomplicated.
simple. Super simple.
Shout out to directed by Risa. Shot and edited by Yellow Box Films.
Shout out to that concept by me. Just kidding. That's so arrogant.
So real talk though, grab that mic. Since we here, since we just got done watching it. What is it? I feel like I don't know how I feel. Like I posted that about Spotify. It's on. I posted that on Spotify. It says queer, black, and proud. You know, and as much as I appreciate it, because I do. At the same time, I still feel some type of way. Like I'm just curious, like you moving through it. I don't know if it's just a trend again. You know what I mean? Like remember, like when we were younger, like girls were like, "Oh, I'm bi," but no, you ain't. You just saying that because you want the attention and you messing with my emotions right now. You know? So I'm just curious. Like, do you think? Even like they put in National Geographic, like gender, like there was like this cover just called gender, like revolution type of thing, and like which I appreciate. You know what I mean? I'm just curious, like what it's like for you, like moving forward as someone who has those identities.
Yeah, see, that's one day.
Today, that's not that day, but yeah. Just like answer the damn question.
Yeah, I think it's a trend.
Yeah.
I absolutely think it's a trend. It's in right now.
Yeah, I do. But that's what I was thinking is interesting that she was telling me one day, people are more likely to listen to us because they can't put a finger on us. They're just like, what am I looking at? What is this person?
True.
So,
We're intriguing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like they're kind of like it's so funny. Like I get called. No, wait, what was it? So my friend Tyler, she said something so interesting. She was like, "You are so handsome," and she was like it's like a weird thing. It's like you're like a
you
pretty.
liked it though?
Well, it was like you're like a pretty boy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you look like a girl at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, it's androgyny. It's really touching into that androgynous, like playing both sides type thing. Because I mean, I'm telling you, when I get my braids in, people don't question me.
Yeah.
'Cause they're long.
Uh-huh.
So it's like, so it's very interesting.
I was gonna say, did you like it when she called you handsome?
I was confused. I was like,
but would you prefer them to call you beautiful?
I prefer attractive.
Attractive. Okay.
Because then it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
Either or.
Yeah. Yeah. I prefer handsomely beautiful.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
I've been like thinking about.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that. So, anyways.
That's a good one. It's like put together.
Yeah, I don't know. I prefer
I
handsome.
like that.
My mom would be like, "Oh, you're so handsome." I'm like, I know it's really
Aw.
interesting. That I'm just like, I like it, but I know very well that I'm a girl, and like,
Yeah.
So when someone calls me beautiful, I like it too. Like someone, I was like,
Yeah,
whatever,
that's
it's all
why I
good,
like
you know.
attractive. I'm like, man, you're attractive. I'm like, me? Stop. No.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I think that's gonna have to be a video later on because again, like that's something I talked to you about. I think it's important for us to support each other, you know, to move forward with each other and with people that look like us. And that's why I said at 3:30. I'm not sure if you met Jay. They do spoken word, so I don't know.
okay.
And like I'm just trying to like bring the community together. But like I said, I gotta build
Yeah,
Pepper
definitely.
first, bring that on, and then just start moving. You know, just moving as a crew. So cool.
Dope. Cool.